In a huge breakthrough, India and China have agreed on patrolling arrangements along the line of actual control, and both have completed military disengagement. Now, what does it mean? Will this end the border tensions between the two Asian nuclear powers? Let's try to find these answers in this video.
There has been, you're aware of the events that took place in 2020 in several areas along the line of actual control. We've been in discussions with Chinese interlocutors, both at a diplomatic level, through the WMCC, as was mentioned earlier as well, and through at the military level as well, through meetings of the military commanders at various levels. These discussions had in the past resulted in the resolution of standoffs at various locations. You're also aware that there were a few areas and few locations where the standoff had not been resolved. Now, as a result of the discussions that have taken place over the last several weeks, an agreement has been arrived at on patrolling arrangements along the line of actual control in the India-China border area. And this is leading to disengagement and eventually a resolution of the issues that had arisen in these areas in 2020.
According to The Hindu, the patrolling arrangement agreement extends beyond the areas along the line of actual control and includes the so far unresolved areas of Demchok and Depsang, indicating that the India-China standoff since April 2020 is now expected to be resolved. Indian and Chinese soldiers will be able to resume patrolling in the way they had been doing before 2020. Now, why is this move significant? The development means a great deal to the two countries, as PM Modi is travelling to Kazan in Russia to attend the BRICS summit tomorrow, and it has been speculated that he would meet Chinese President Xi Jinping there on the sidelines. If Modi and Xi meet, it will be their first meeting since July 2023. The last formal disengagement between India and China at the LAC took place in September 2022 when both sides withdrew troops from patrolling point Pangong So, PP-15, PP-17 and Galwan Valley. Now, how did it get worse between the two sides? Remember, both countries had been engaged in a military standoff in eastern Ladakh since early 2020. What happened in Ladakh? What happened in Galwan? It happened on June 15, 2020, the clash in which 20 Indian soldiers were killed, and it was one of the worst in 45 years, plunging the bilateral relationship to its lowest since 1962 when the two countries fought a war. Now, this led to a military standoff with China. India had claimed that China moved on to the Indian side of the LAC. In February 2021, China acknowledged for the first time that 5 Chinese military officers and soldiers were killed. Now, what is the border standoff between India and China? What are we talking about? What is the LAC? Now, LAC, or the line of actual control, is the de facto India-China border. It's a notional line, it's ill-defined and has not been drawn on any agreed map. It's a 3,488 kilometer long disputed border that separates the Chinese and Indian held territories from Ladakh in the west to India's eastern state of Arunachal Pradesh, which China claims in its entirety. The north bank of Pangong So Lake, which is divided into 8 fingers from west to east. These are named as finger 1 to finger 8. The Indian side claims that LAC runs till finger 8, whereas China claims that the LAC ends at finger 4. The overlapping LAC between finger 4 and 8 is considered a buffer zone by both India and China. Now, after a February 2021 agreement, an 8-kilometer long buffer zone was created between finger 4 and finger 8 that prevented patrols from both sides. The key word here is disengagement. What does it mean? Disengagement refers to troops physically disengaging from a particular location in contention. The question is, with border talks breakthrough, is the stage set for Modi-Xi meet at the BRICS summit?
For more news and updates, all you need to do is follow CNBC TV18 on all of our digital platforms.